If you're in that job where you're feeling like this isn't working for me, I'm not into it, I'm mad about it, I get upset every time I walk into the office. The thing that you're missing here is that, and she's looking at me, she's like, what's she gonna say? I need to know. Give it to me, Gabby, give it to me. The thing that you're missing is that when you appreciate what you do have, you create more of what you want. Appreciating even the job that isn't the one that you want forever actually helps you attract the next career path. And you think it's counterintuitive because you're thinking, well, I don't want to appreciate this thing I don't want. That's sending out a message to the universe that I want something I don't want. Actually, no. The more you appreciate what's in front of you, the more you become a magnet for what it is that you desire. So if you appreciate that job that's not that great, and you bring an energy that's a little bit more of a high vibe frequency, and you show up to work and you've got a better attitude, and people start to like you a little bit more because you're in that appreciation of whatever's around you, and they start to see you a little bit differently, and then maybe they give you a raise, or maybe they see some potential in you, or maybe one day you're just in a really good mood because you've been appreciating everybody and you're not mad anymore, you're not complaining on your Instagram about how you hate your job, and you're walking through the office and you're in a really good mood and you get in the elevator and you bump into somebody and they say, oh, what do you do? And you say, I'm a copy editor at this company and blah, blah, blah. And they say, oh, how interesting. We've been looking for a copy editor. Because it's your energy and your appreciation that creates that opportunity. So the more that you're in an energy of lack or fear or negativity, the more likely you are to deflect the creative possibilities in your life. The more you are to deflect the new opportunities, and the less fun you have, real. You know what I mean? Like, the key to attracting what you want, people, is to have fun. Straight up, have fun.
Appreciation does not equal complacency. One of the biggest things that I think we struggle as entrepreneurs or as ambitious people is you feel like if you start being really appreciative of what you have, then you won't want to go off and do more. And that by being grateful or being appreciative of what you've got, it somehow squashes your ambition to go and create more. Have you ever thought about that? I have. And what I've realized over the years is that it's the exact opposite, at least for me. That the more I can lean in on appreciation, the more I can lean in on what I do have, it actually gives me the motivation to want to go off and do more. It feels like it's counterintuitive to say, but for whatever reason it works. So for example, whenever I look at my main channel, we've got 3 million subscribers plus on the main channel. When I can connect to, I'm so appreciative of having 3 million subscribers on my main channel, it gives me, when I can feel it, when it's actually in my heart, it's like, wow, I can't believe that we have 3 million subscribers, that we've got 500 million views. That's more than the population of the United States in terms of the views on the channel. It sounds crazy. Whenever I can actually connect to that in my heart, not just, ooh, that's really good, like a logical brain thing, but in my heart, it makes me want to do more. It makes me want to serve more. It makes me want to help more. It makes me want to do more videos. It makes me feel like what I do matters and is important. And I honestly think that this is one of the biggest reasons why I kept going. If you look at my channel, the main one, we started in 2009. So many years ago. And I've posted my progress of how well the channel's done over the years. In 5 years in, I had 7,000 subscribers, something like that. Can you imagine 5 years of making videos and you're still at 7,000 subscribers? And you know, year one was under 100 subscribers, and you know, you could see the growth on the website. What kept me going? I was shy, I was introverted, I was scared to make videos. What kept me going? What kept me going? What kept me going? People ask me all the time, how did you not burn out? What kept you going when you weren't seeing a lot of results? What kept me going was I always focused on who I was serving instead of who I wasn't. I did a live stream last night on my much newer gaming channel, and we had, I don't know, 7 people who were consistent in the chat. Why show up? Why do it? How is that not a waste of time? You know, like, why shouldn't I not be doing something else? Because I focused on the 7 people who were there. And I ended up making a great connection for 2 of the people. There's a guy named Michael who has a channel focused on helping people understand people with disabilities. And he brings on able-bodied people to ask questions. It might be uncomfortable questions about what it's like living with a disability. And while he was on the live stream last night, I thought of another friend of mine, Nick Tabor, and I thought that the two of them would get along really well. And I ended up making a quick introduction for the two of them, and now they're connected. They're going to make some content, and who knows, maybe that leads to nowhere, or maybe they become best friends and launch a $1 billion business together. I don't know, but it feels like it matters. It feels like yesterday mattered, that stream yesterday mattered, that even though there are only 7 people on the stream, it felt like it matters. It felt like what I do matters to somebody. And at the end of the day, that's what we all want. You want to feel like you're going to wake up today and do something that's going to matter to somebody in a meaningful, deep way. And so you can be grateful for that. You can appreciate that. And in knowing that, it inspires me to want to go off and do more. It's not the opposite. It's not that, oh, I'm so grateful and appreciative that we had this great session last night, and so now I'm not going to make any more content. Having appreciation and gratitude for what you have actually lets you go off and create more. It puts you in a much better, much more positive, much more service mindset to want to go off and create even bigger scale things. So in my first videos, when I was struggling and didn't believe in myself and had no confidence, and this is the only thing I had going for me, was I kept going. And why did I keep going? It's because I just always, for whatever reason, there was no strategy behind it. There was no coach guiding me. I maybe got lucky, or maybe it was just great parenting. But I had the mindset of the time that, hey, 40 people saw this video. That's really cool. I'm helping somebody. And that's what kept me going. It took me 350 videos before I wasn't completely embarrassed by myself, and 700 videos until I inspired myself with one of my own videos, or I watched it back and I could finally start feeling proud. 700 videos before I finally started feeling proud of what I was making, that I could watch my own videos back and not cringe. So if that's you, if you're starting and you watch your own videos back and you think that you suck, well, hey, that was me too. And it took 700 public videos before I didn't think that I completely sucked. But I kept going because I felt like it mattered. Because at least for one person, maybe you watching this video, it's still what I use today. Maybe this is the video that encourages you to keep going, that encourages you to be a little more appreciative, that encourages you to share a little bit more, to say yes a little bit more, to take that idea that you've got in your brain and actually go and do something on it. Like maybe this is the video that pushes you just a little bit forward to go off and do it. Use it as permission to say, hey, I've got great ideas and I want to serve, and it's finally time for me to step up. You know, it's finally time. Whether it works or not, I'm going to try. I'm going to try a little bit more today because it might help one person. And if this is the video that gives you the permission to go and chase down that idea, that's it. That's why I do what I do. And as much as I love the numbers, and it's great, you know, yes, I want to hit 5 million subscribers and 10 million subscribers and whatever. I want to solve the world's biggest problem, right? People don't believe in themselves enough. That's the biggest problem in the world. I'm never going to do it. And I wake up every day trying to do it. But the thing that keeps me going is the appreciation and gratitude for what I have done and what I have in my life. You could stretch that to gratitude for your health. I actually just came back from the doctor's office. I'm getting immunotherapy done, where I used to have really bad allergies to trees. Like trees and grass would cause crazy allergies. And I discovered immunotherapy, where they basically put a little bit of tree and grass under your skin once a month, and slowly your body gets used to it. So now I can walk out without having allergies. I used to be taking 2 allergy pills a day from early spring to late fall, almost the entire year, just winter off, because I struggled so much with my allergies. And now I don't. And in being grateful and appreciative of my health, even as I'm saying these words out loud, where my brain goes next is I want to have more health. So it's the opposite, right? We think that if you're grateful and appreciative for what you have, you won't be ambitious and want more, but it's the opposite. As I think about my health and how grateful I am to not have allergies right now, to not be struggling right now, to not be on multiple allergy pills right now, Now I want to be healthier. Now I want to go for a run. Now I want to make a extra salad. Like I want to invest more in my health because there's momentum behind it. And so wherever you apply appreciation and gratitude, you'll see that area of your life start to multiply. So if you're grateful for the relationships in your life, you'll see those relationships get better. If you're appreciative for what you've done in your business so far, even though it's not where you want to be, listen, you're never going to be where you want to be. But if you're grateful and appreciative for what you have done already in your business, it'll give you momentum to go and create more. So wherever you apply gratitude and appreciation, that area of your life will multiply, will get better, will continue to improve. I want you to think about the opposite. Again, we think that gratitude and appreciation leads to complacency. It doesn't. We think that being appreciative for what we have makes us less of an ambitious person. It doesn't. It's the opposite. Lean in on gratitude and appreciation and watch your entire life change.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Appreciation dissolves the boundary of fear. And appreciation creates more of what you want. So if you've got something good going on, go appreciate it even more. Talk about it, thrive in it, write about it, feel it, meditate on the feeling of it, because then you create more of it. If you're in a funk, lean on what you appreciate to get you out of that funk, and make appreciation a daily habit. Like when you and Josh wake up in the morning, Abraham Hicks has this thing called the appreciation game, where you can just play the appreciation game and just say, I appreciate you because you make me coffee, and I appreciate you because you're a good dancer. I'm just thinking about you and Josh. I appreciate you because you're so funny on television, whatever it is, you know, but just really appreciating your spouse, your children, and play that game with your children. Oh my goodness. Start your day going back and forth with why you appreciate one another. And it immediately just realigns you, puts you into this state where you feel so good. Because how can you can't feel bad in the presence of appreciation? Yeah. And it will catapult you out of the negativity. And that's what this is all about. This is all about taking these moments and using these methods and these practices to consciously and proactively bridge yourself from that low vibration to a better feeling emotion. And in that better feeling emotion, you become a super attractor. I went on my Instagram and I was like, how many of you, I did a poll and I said, how many of you are blocking your manifesting? And 96% said yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I call it out. I call out the ways that we block, and this whole book is methods for unblocking. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that, you know, the thing that's most important is to trust that if you're watching this right now, that you are in fact being guided. So even if you don't feel that guidance, you can't hear that inspiration, there's no way that you would have listened to this specific podcast in this specific moment if you were not indeed being guided. Okay. So just take that in fully and completely. And then your next step is to recognize the guidance and then follow the guidance you receive, whether it's read this book or not this book, maybe another book, maybe after this podcast, you're led to another author on your podcast. And then that's the book that you need, or that's the therapist that you need to find. It doesn't have to be me, but stay open. And when you have an intuition to listen to a podcast, or it's when you're feeling free and you make a decision to do something, it's when you're in a place of no agenda, just a place of joy, inspiration, relaxation, and you start to listen to something or your guidance. That's when you're really listening. That's when you're really receiving guidance. So I think anyone that's listening to you is listening, but they just may not realize it. I now have deep appreciation for that dark hole I was in 6 months ago, because it's giving me an opportunity to sit here with you today and hopefully save some lives. Yeah. If there's a mother out there that's watching and she's having suicidal thoughts, or she's having panic attacks, or she's having insomnia, that she can now go and talk to her OBGYN or her psychiatrist. I am deeply grateful for everything I've been through my addiction recovery, for my trauma healing, through physical things that I've talked about publicly.
Because they've given me a greater level of compassion for for the human condition, and a much greater opportunity to speak and teach from a place of authenticity.
Yeah.
So that's my appreciation for what has been. And I think if we start to look at the difficult times in our lives and appreciate them, and also recognize them as a learning device, saying, okay, thank you, alcoholism, or thank you, fear, or thank you, drama in my life right now, because you're revealing to me what I still need to heal.
Everyone has unresolved areas where they are out of alignment due to their upbringing, their belief systems from childhood, experiential belief systems, whatever has been imprinted. So some people might be health, some people it might be sex, some people it might be money, some people it might be their worth, some people might be all of the above, whatever. We've all got it. We've all got an area or many where we are misaligned with the feeling of love and abundance and grace. That's normal, that's natural, that's where it's at. And just because you fall into those belief systems and feel into that frequency from time to time doesn't mean that you are doing anything wrong. It's that your awareness of it is actually major, okay? So the undoing of the lack mentality is a journey of clearing the belief systems from a experiential time in your life, right? That happens once again through books like The Universe Has Your Back. So fantastic that you're doing that. Transform fear to faith. Excellent work. It comes through therapeutic practices like we've been talking about today. It comes through mental reconditioning. And here's the good news. We all have these conditioned neural pathways from the experiences that we've had as children, particularly young childhood experiences. But the good news is, thanks to neural plasticity, our brain actually can change. Our brain can reorganize. Our brain can become new. Our fight-flight responses can subside. Our PTSD can dissolve. Our lack mentality can turn into an abundance mentality. Our brain has the power to change. And so much of that change happens with the repetition of new behavior. So one thing that you can do simply in this moment is to notice when you are in that lack mentality. Notice how it makes you feel. Forgive the thought and choose again. And this is a method I've shared over and over and over again on this show, the choose again method. Because yes, I could say to all of you, go do 10 years of therapy, which everyone I hope will have the opportunity to do, whatever that form that comes. But what you can do for yourself, you're here for self-help. You're here for Gabby to tell me how I can serve myself. You can be in the proactive development of new thought patterns that feel better. Not thought patterns that you don't believe in, but thought patterns that make you feel better. So when you notice that lack story show up, step 1, notice the thought and how it makes you feel. Step 2, forgive yourself for having the thought. It's very simple. There's my childhood story. There's my parents' lack story again. There it is again. All right, I forgive myself. It just showed up again, because that forgiveness will dissolve that guilt and tension and fear that you're manifesting it, all that crap, right? Third step, choose the next best feeling thought. Choose the thought of, you know what, I just forgave myself for that thought, so I'm dissolving it in this moment. I actually am listening to The Universe Has Your Back, and it's so supportive. Then I can actually go and listen to Super Attractor. So you can go from thought to thought to thought to reach for the next best feeling thought. So your willingness to face this lack mentality is already activating abundance within you. Right. And especially if you're feeling afraid that you're manifesting things because you're having the thoughts, then just forgive the thoughts, or forgive yourself for having the thought. Because the moment that you say, I forgive myself for that thought, or I forgive that thought, it doesn't have power over you anymore, because you've recognized, I am not that thought. It's just a thought that I keep thinking. I am not that belief. It's just a thought that I keep thinking.
I think that we all have, in our own ways, unresolved wounds from attachment breach, from childhood experiences, from feelings of being unlovable and not good enough, They will continue to show up for us as somatic experiences. They'll show up in our lives as gut conditions, as anxiety disorders. They may show up as insomnia. They may show up as back pain. They will show up until you show up for them. In my life as a human, but also as a spiritual personal growth teacher, I have been in the devotional commitment of showing up for my wounded parts so that I can step into the resourced, healthy, whole part of who I am. The journey I've been on is nothing short of a miracle. As you mentioned earlier, I was a drug addict in my 20s, got sober at 25 just through my own desire to be clean. Then in my mid 30s, I remembered a dissociated traumatic event from my childhood that really put me on the path of understanding why I used in the first place, to really understand why I was a drug addict. And then really made the devotional commitment to go further than my spiritual practice and really start to develop many therapeutic practices for helping myself get back to a healthy baseline and for restoring my nervous system and grounding my energy so that I can be where I am today, Lisa, which is so happy, so at ease, so healthy and well. And I wouldn't be able to be in this place now if I hadn't had the opportunity to do all the big lifting and heavy lifting that I experienced before. So I'm grateful for the tough stuff because it's revealed the great stuff now. Everyone that's walking through this world, every human being, they may not have had to have trauma like we've had, but they're walking through life feeling unsafe.
They may not have had sexual abuse or a father that abandoned them,
but
or
maybe their teacher told them they were stupid, or maybe they like got lost one day in the parking lot when they were a kid and didn't find their mom. It doesn't. These subtle moments are, as A Course in Miracles says, the moments that we detour into fear. They call it the descent from magnitude into littleness. And we then create this form of ego, which is a separate mind, separate from God, separate from love, separate from that freedom. And it builds up a pretense around us. I mean, I'm living in it right now. I'm watching a 10-month-old child so free of ego, so free of fear. And I'm so conscious of every moment. I'm so conscious of not, being on my phone when I'm with him, because I don't want to create, I'm going to create those moments. He's a human having a human experience, but I want to hold him in the preciousness of this God-like state as long as possible, right? But that's not how people's parents are.
Right.
That's not how we grew up, right?
No.
We all grow up in this world where there's just each moment is an opportunity to detour into fear, and then we create a world of fear-based perceptions. And so what we must do to live and thrive and feel good is undo those fear-based perceptions. And I believe through a spiritual path or through maybe a therapeutic path. I mean, I think spirit's in all of it, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
But to make a commitment to feel better, it means that you're committed to returning to God. Or love, or spirit,
universe,
whatever you call it. You might agree with me on this. Like, in 1 hour, I can do more than the average person can do in a day or 2 days. Okay. And that's because I do things from inspiration. And so when you're inspired, you're in spirit and you are expanding time, you're given more energy, and you just can get, things download fast. The voice within us that believes that we are not allowed to be happy. Our card today is speaking to that. I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. I believe I am worthy of feeling good. This is often something that is a belief system that sounds really nice, but it's actually far from our reality, because many of us have been brought up with the belief system that we have to suffer to succeed, that we have to feel pain to have purpose, that we have to have struggles in order to feel a sense of serenity in our life. That is all quite backwards. It's when we feel good that we actually attract more of what we want into our life. But we have to undo the belief system that says, who am I to feel good? Who am I to feel great? Who am I to be happy?
That belief system is an ingrained belief system that can be cultural, that can be something that we learned from our upbringing. It can be something that we have picked up from this difficult experience that we're going through right now with COVID. When we witness people suffering, we think, well, how dare I be happy? I would say to you, how dare you not be happy? It's your happiness. It's the collective happiness. It's the group collective happiness that raises the energetic frequency of the world. If we, those of us who have moments of happiness and grace and joy and success, and we don't celebrate them, we are doing the world a disservice. We are shutting down the light. We are bringing down the vibration. So we have to, when we feel good, we have to reach for more. When we feel good, we have to recognize that that good feeling emotion has momentum. It has power. It elevates our children. It elevates our family members. It elevates our friends. It elevates strangers on the street. It is your divine duty here on earth to bring forth that greatness, that goodness, that light. So when you hear that voice that says to you, you are not worthy of feeling good, I want you to hear my voice come through and say to you, who are you not to feel good? This is your divine purpose. It is your mission, and it is the way that you heal and serve. You got me? We are more comfortable being uncomfortable than we are being happy. So when things are good, and when we start to get a sense of feeling good, our ego, the voice of fear within us, starts to say, hell no, too good to be true. And it will find these weird little corners to pick up problems. We have a fault-finding mindset rather than a solution, happiness-oriented mindset. So when that happens, the next time you notice that you're feeling good and all is well, and all of a sudden you're like, but I wasn't nice enough to that person, or my coworkers aren't in a good place, or I didn't do that right, I want you to speak back to that voice. I want you to say, thank you for sharing, but I choose happiness instead. Thank you for sharing, but I don't believe that voice anymore. Thank you for sharing, but I'm choosing this moment. Give yourself permission in the moment to speak back to the fault-finding voice and start to claim the greatness of who you are. That is a pattern because you've lived your life in a habitual pattern of seeking problems and finding fault. Now we have to redirect and create a new habit and pattern of grounding you in the truth of who you are, which is happiness, joy, peace, and grace, sharing that happiness, joy, and peace with so much grace. That's what you're here for.
Not only do I talk about spirit guides and angels and deceased family members, but I also talk about your higher self. So if this is too woo-woo for you, start to tap into what is the voice of my higher self.
Gotcha.
Right? That voice of my inner guidance system, and that wisdom that I believe in is my true nature, right? But I personally, Gabby Bernstein, I believe that we all have guides, ancestors, family members, teachers, beings of light beings, energy beings that are supporting us in a form that is able to step in, able to channel through us when we write books, able to be there in those darkest moments, pick us up off the floor, and hold us in discomfort and guide us to business opportunities or babies or whatever it is that we're looking for. And it's always available to us, that guidance, but we cut it off, we block it. And
Why do we block the guidance?
Fear is the reason we block it. Fear
of what?
It's not even fear, it's that false-based perception that we've built up around ourselves from those traumatic events, right? So we have these traumatic events early in life and they continue to build and build and build. We build up a world of false perceptions. I am this body, I am Gabby Bernstein, I am Lewis Howes, I've got the School of Greatness,
People are
I'm
out
a
to
New York
get
Times
me,
bestseller.
I can't trust people, we create these beliefs.
And you believe you're separate from others, you believe you're better than or less than or not good enough. And all those stories, all those false pretenses are what many spiritual practices call the ego, right? And that fear-based perception of yourself is misaligned with God, with love, with spirit, with angels, with guides. And so this book is all about how to get back into alignment so that you can hear that guidance and receive that guidance and be a channel for inspiration. And when you clear and undo those patterns of fear and start to claim the pattern of love, that's when you are hooked up, super attractor. Doors, unstoppable. Invisible doors open for you. It doesn't matter how low you are when you're starting this, you will go way further than you could possibly have imagined.
And then the next question I have for you is, when you're thinking about manifestation and calling in new things, are some of you manic manifesting? So this is really important. Are some of you those folks who are like, I've got the list, I've got the vision board, I've said it 1,000 times, I told all my friends I want him, I know exactly what he looks like, and I feel like he's with me, and we're walking down the street together holding hands. You know who you are. You know who you are, right? You know exactly who you are. Look, there's nothing wrong with being clear. There's nothing wrong with being clear, but more importantly, I want you to be clear about how you want to feel, and I want you to just feel it. It's not about having the vision board that's perfect. It's not about having the most amazing list. You can do all that work. You can get clear. You can be, and if anyone doesn't know what a vision board, it's a beautiful board where you put all of your images of what you want, and plenty of people spend a lot of time on that board, but they don't get into the energy of what it feels like. And so they spend a lot of time with the list, and they spend a lot of time with the board, and they spend a lot of time talking about it, but they don't assume the energy of what it feels like to be in that manifestation now. Assuming the energy of what it felt like to pop off all your tops really helped me call in something that will help me do it. Assuming that energy just brought me into a state of being, you are already there, sister. You are already doing this exactly as you are on your video blogs, in your lectures, on Twitter and Facebook. You are already there, and you want more, but you are already there. So acknowledging and accepting that I'm already in the place that I am, even though I want it to be more, I am already there. So if you want a romantic partner, make sure you have a real hot romance with yourself. If you want more money, make sure you have a real good relationship with the money you currently have. If you want a new job, make sure you have a real good relationship with the job you have today. Everybody get that? People think, oh, well, if I appreciate my job that I have now, then I'll only stay there. No, absolutely not. If you appreciate the job that you have now, then you show up to that job with grace. You show up to that job with a good attitude. You show up to that job with a better approach. You show up to that job with more energy. That job begins to thank you. That job says, wait, maybe there's another job for you. That job then says, here, you're promoted. Here's some more money. Have a great life. You create your reality. Your intentions create your reality. So if you are constantly in a place of thinking, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, you are serving that. Everybody's with me now. I know you are. So rather than focusing on that manic manifesting, first and foremost, get honest if you are one of them. If you are, please raise your hands now. Manic manifestors, just get honest, people. Get your hands up. Manic manifestors. So you're reading the books, you're doing the work, you think, but your energy, what's your energy like? Scream it to me. What's your energy like? Frantic? Win. What was that? When, you're saying when. Got it, yes, okay. What is your energy saying when? Your energy's needy, right? It's controlling. It's manipulative. It's frightened. It's chaotic. What does that girl look like on a date? So what is your energy doing? How is your manic manifesting affecting your genuine manifestation? So I want you to get clear about that. And then the next piece here is just to become super conscious, and maybe you take yourself for the next 30 days, where you can use that exercise in my ink book where you put the little rubber band around your wrist and you snap the rubber band every time you catch yourself talking about lack, or you catch yourself, avoiding your finances, or you catch yourself eating the hamburger, or you catch yourself manic manifesting. Just check yourself before you wreck yourself. And snap your wrist, right? So take that little, everybody got that? You hear yourself, you're in the conversation with your girlfriend and you're like, oh my God, I can't get it. I don't know what's going on. The man won't call me back. I can't kill myself. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden, instead of continuing, snap the rubber band. I say, I forgive myself for my lack mentality. I forgive myself for my fear. I choose to see this differently. That's it. You don't need to figure out what to see differently. You just need to say, I choose to see this differently, and you will be given all you need to see something differently.
To watch my recent one-on-one sit-down with Gabby Bernstein, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Trauma is very delicate, and we all have it. You rip off the Band-Aid too fast, you'll get blown out. It'll be too scary at once. We all have the capacity to be of service to others.